This is Natural World.
Welcome back. All right. So, as we were talking about dating after divorce. So, Akim, I have a question for you. So, based on your experience, what is your approach now to dating?
All right, so based on my experience, back then, I used to look for physical appearance as well. Because, quite frankly, I thought I was attracted to a shorter man and whatnot. And nowadays, you find out, me attracted to more thicker women.
What you say?
She knows herself. But anyways, seriously though. Seriously. But then, you looked for the physical appearance, and then you work on the personality after. You find out about the personality. But by the time I made my decision to get married, the physical actually catch me long time.
Mm-hmm.
But, as opposed to then, now I see more than just figures and shape and pretty face and bad characters. Right now I you see, and then, I look from what you bring to the table.
Mm-hmm.
I look for what you actually, I wouldn't say enhance my life financially. I'm not going to say that, because that doesn't matter to me. But how you enhance my life emotionally. And of course, spiritually.
Yes, bring peace home.
Yeah, I don't want to be worried about or unsure about you. And I don't want to be uncertain about a relationship. That's where I'm at now in my dating maturity, if you want to call it so.
Mm-hmm.
I really like peace.
Yes, peace is nice.
Yeah, and that's why where I live is very quiet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't intend to come home from work in all of the chaos and trouble and on the road with the cars and all of that, and come home to the next drama. Like me have to fight a battle at home. That's what I look for. And as I said about uncertainty, if I can't be sure about you in terms of how you support me, how you want me to progress,
right,
then may not going to work out in terms of dating. Now, in my experience of dating people after I got divorced, like everybody want them own thing.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing is wrong with that. I'm not knocking anybody that, want them development or want to be on top of whatever they're on. But if you say you want to date somebody, then some level of compromise must be there too.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have one person compromising more than the other when it comes to dating with me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we have to be balanced, And you hear people say, but that don't make no sense, because guess what? Somebody will give up more than what it is. There is the ideal that you will compromise just as much as you need to in a relationship.
Yep.
So I don't know where people get that idea from. It's not no fairy tale thing. What I give, as Mr. Leo, is what I can provide.
Mm-hmm.
So if I can provide you the support, the emotional support, the physical support, the financial support, and all of these things, I expect you to be willing to give that back.
Right.
And even if you can't give back one, I'm not going to knock you for that. But I expect at least some basic things be there.
Right.
And that's me. And then even so, to the point now that I don't really chase people no more.
No.
You used to see a girl and you like her and you say, yo, I like her, I like you. And you go to her and you talk to her and you bring all your A game and you tell her how she's sweet from yesterday till November. You see it? That now work for me no more. Like, listen, that's just surface things for me. Superficial. Like when I talk to you, and me have a thing where I ask people random questions. Like, me ask you, where you see yourself in 5 years? And if you give me a nonsensical answer, I'm going to lose interest in you. Because the only thing you have is just physical appearance.
Yeah, with immediate effect.
Yeah, like, so I may ask people randomly, like, if you could have something now that you could have, like, out of the world, if you could have it now, what would it be? And these are the things I may ask. And as simple as I see it, it's not a full question,
So what kind of answers have you gotten?
So the answer I get is, some people must say, oh, right now, I just want to go up on a plane or next person you tell me something about, food.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I've gotten some good answers too. But of course, there are other aspects where I look for. I've gotten answers like, right now, if I could have the opportunity to clear off all of my bills, them, so I could have start a business or I could have do this or something. And I've asked women like, if and then there's one girl that answered me, say, listen, my ultimate thing, if I could have it right now, is that when she see herself in 5 years, that she's closer to God. And that was the best answer me ever hear. Come here and say, where you come from? And this was actually, a young girl, This was actually somebody below 25. And and I've asked these questions to a myriad of women over 30s, because me not partial when it comes to dating, just that nowadays me stick to about 2 years ahead and 2 years below. But me ask questions, and the questions a younger girl will give is way different from the answers. Sorry, a younger girl will give is way different from the answers that the older persons give. Because I think it's a thing with women over 30 nowadays, 30, but I say over 35. For them, thing is stability. They more make sure it's them house ready and this and that, and no idea, especially Christian women too. Yeah. Like I've heard Christian women, the only thing they're concerned about is to make sure it's them money good. And them care good and all of that. And listen, this is me. I don't talk to every woman in the world. And I'm sure if I 7 billion people in the world, I'm going to talk to every one of them. But based on my experience, the younger women nowadays, from once them below 30, they have a different mindset when it comes to relationships. I don't know if it's skip a generation or something when it comes to the maturity. But in my dating experience, the younger girls actually start to actually think there's more to life than the material things. And don't get me wrong, material things, I want to live comfortable too. Who doesn't want to?
Is true.
But that's not my main focus. As I said, I want to come home to peace, not chaos. And if I see that you bring chaos to my life, later I'm giving you the boot. Sorry. That's my idea of dating now. It might sound harsh, and I might not get into a lot of details with that. But there are specific things that I look for with dating women. It's about your mindset going forward to the future, your mindset towards me, your mindset towards your family. Matter of fact, you also look for the family mindset, because if you don't want a picnic, you don't want children, if you don't think about that in your future, especially if you want to get married, then that's a deal breaker for me.
Okay.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah.
Well, that aspect that you have spoken about is very, how should I put it now? It's very thoughtful, because if you see somebody who you're not going to be heading in the same direction, then you know that right there and then you have a problem. You have a problem.
Yeah.
But there's another aspect to it though, for me personally. I've spoken to persons before, and what the funny thing about it is, I wasn't even interested in those persons, That's just, and I find it funny. But they started to want to find out, like, so, what you did do?
Yeah, I'm like, that turned me off,
I'm like, excuse me, what are you talking about? Yeah, man, you're the man, you must do something.
That's our mindset.
It never work, and I know a person maybe listening and saying that, boy, maybe, based on what I would have said, that, boy, it never worked out in my direction, right? But it's not even important. It's just an example that we're talking about here. I'm saying, so I have to be saying to him, but why you have to take that approach to begin with, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be that it was my fault or her fault either.
You just never work out.
Right. And whatever transpired during that time period, the ending now is what we're talking about, that we're no longer together. Right? And that's just the plain truth. Right? There's also another side to it where persons are going to look at you like, no, him damaged. So
yeah. I have a friend like that,
Yeah, man, him damaged now. So
and you find that in church, yo.
Yeah, man.
Exactly.
Damaged, so him can't be of any good to anybody, because him damaged, and he's not going to perceive things the same way. And all of these things, right?
He might come with a mindset.
Yeah. So this actually hampers, your or any person's way into dating. Because if you're going to start to consider somebody as being serious for you, and then the person going to say, but nah man, something wrong with you, man. Why
your marriage not work?
That straight up is a big low blow to you, straight. Right? And it's not as if like say that girl na exhibit stuff, but even you're just there doing your own thing, right? Because during my time period, I started working with a night shelter, right?
Yeah.
So you give back and stuff, and helping others, at a night shelter and stuff like that. And even doing that, no person say, no man, something's still wrong with you, man. That's why. And I'm like, here what? If you want to on the outset look at me and say there's something wrong with me, then that's fine. And
your business that.
I'm not going to argue with you about that. If you really wanted to know, you'd have gotten the opportunity to come and find out, right? But you just looking at it and say that, then that's fine, You'd have already spoiled the situation before you start. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So these are other things that actually me personally, in the initial phase, you're looking at it and say, boy, maybe you could start talking to somebody, and then you hear somebody going to say to you, say, boy, oh, you're damaged and you have things to deal with, and I'm like, but this now go assist or help. Because what some person don't know is that I went and did my counseling. Right?
Nobody have to know that either.
Yeah, nobody have to know. We go do my
your
counseling.
personal thing there.
Right. So I did my counseling went through all of that and stuff. So when person come here and say, oh, this and that and all manner of stuff, I just smile and say, okay, no problem.
That's all. Moving on.
No problem.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to go out there and say, boy, hear what? And try to prove everybody right and wrong and all of. No.
Yeah. I met a girl, like, the year or two after me separate. I'm, being transparent. You tell the girl, say, yo, I was married before, Girl, shock out of this world, Then she stopped talking to me for about a year. I look on it and me and say, oh. So when she start talk back to me, I'm the nicest person in the world, I come here, I'll answer you. And she said to me, boy, when you told me you're married, it kind of shocked me because in my mind, I'm not going to deal with nobody who's married before and this and that. And I'm look upon her, I'm like, so you couldn't just tell me that? And that's one pet peeve with mine. When you're dating somebody, if you're not willing to speak your mind about anything, tell me straight up. Don't ghost me.
Yeah, as I said that though, I remember this young lady, I kid you not, she speaks about how she wants to get married, the whole 9 yards, the house, the little picket fence and the dog and everything, right?
I'm not sure about dogs.
and just going on and, I believe that, we were heading in a particular direction. This was years ago. Probably about some 3-4 years ago or something like so. Thought we were going in a good direction. It wasn't for a long time either, about 3 months, 2-3 months or something. Thought we were going in a good direction, and just one day she just ghosts me. Don't hear nothing, don't see
silence,
nothing.
radio silence.
Yeah man, radio silence, man.
Girl, boy.
Yeah man. So during the time period now, I started wondering, did I say something? Did I do something?
Yeah, you start questioning yourself, something wrong.
Yeah, because you'd have gone through a particular situation before, say you want to say try to do anything outside of what you're not supposed to mess up. So I just say, alright, cool. So eventually I spoke to her, and could you believe it? Young lady tell me that I was acting as if I wanted to continue with my marriage and whatever. And
what that mean though?
Yeah, well, honestly, I wasn't even going to follow through and find out. When she said that in my head, all right, goodbye. That's what I said in my head, goodbye. And I was like, whew.
Relief.
Yeah, man, because I'm like, I'm missing this bullet, because the truth of the matter is, everything that was done, every movement, every talking, conversation, I allowed her at that time to lead. For example, say if we were to go out or something, I allowed her to suggest it, right? Because even at that time, I was unsure of her,
Yeah,
So
yeah.
in myself, I wasn't sure about her, you know.
Mhm.
But you know, I was like, well, we'll play along and see if it might go
Go on,
anywhere
yeah.
or anything like that, right? So anything major, any movements or anything like that, you know, I allowed her to suggest it. So what it means is that I allowed her to initiate, but she wasn't always doing it. So for example, she said, all right, let's go to, say for argument's sake, a random place, KFC, you get some lunch and come. I say, all right, cool.
Mhm.
You know what happens that probably the other week or so, I suggest to her, you know, we can go to Chinese or something like so or whatever,
Yeah.
right? So what I wanted to know is that, was she okay with us eating food together? As an example, right? So I go slow. I mean, as I said, never they expect nothing at all. So I go extremely slow, right? So I say, all right, she cool with that, then no problem, right? And so it went along like that with other stuff, right? We met up at here, someone knows, all right, it's cool for us to chill and whatever, because I wasn't pushing anything. So when she said to me, I look like, I want, and I'm like, but miss, I was, so in my mind, I was like, I was following your lead. So as long as it's cool, then I worked with it going forward, right? So I wouldn't suggest anything out of the
Wait,
out of
cause
the
you
way,
never did
right?
a look for it. Not,
Yeah,
no,
man. So
yeah.
so when she said that, I'm like, she make it sound like I made her push something, and I was like, you know what? I missed this bullet because guess what? If she had said to me, boy, you know, you just a drag your foot, and it's like, you know, do not
Push nothing.
push nothing, then I would understand. Then I'd say, boy, yeah, that's exactly what I was doing. Then I could see that. But when she was saying that, boy, let me want to continue with my marriage, I'm like,
But what that mean though?
what?
Because does she mean that that's how your marriage was?
no, I think when she started explaining a little bit, she was saying like it's like I wanted basically to just get married to her or whatever, and I'm like, what? That wasn't even, and that's the funny thing, you know, it was that was so far from my mind because I was like,
You just come out of something.
no, not even just that. I was like, I'm not even sure about this young lady in the first place. That's why I allowed her to lead.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
it really sure about her? Like, I say, yeah, man, I look that girl. Of course, I would have been, you know, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
But when she said that, I was taken aback, and I was like, I didn't even feel her in or anything. I didn't say anything. I was like, cool. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day, you know,
Sure.
and whatever. And I was like, but that shit, mate. I was like,
You know, to be
that's
honest,
a bullet I'm dodging.
I think you see. Let me tell you. So when you get divorced, you come with experience. You see me? No doubt. So when you meet somebody who don't have that experience and you bring it forward, guess what happen? Scare the hell out of them, you know. You scare them because guess what? They never know it took that much commitment to actually be in a relationship with you. As me tell you, sometimes based on your experience, it brings out more. Alright, it allows you to require more from a person, and that is what people don't realize when they get married.
Yep.
And then if you want to be devil's advocate and say, boy, coming like everybody if you just married first and then divorce and then realize what marriage is, you know, that is how people are gonna understand how it really work. Cause me not think people really understand the seriousness of taking dating.
Take it serious and look at
Yeah, and look at it as what it. You understand? Because everybody thinks it's just a little fanfare. You take a picture and you post a selfie, and you post on Instagram or post on Facebook, and them show, you get a whole heap of likes, and you guys look so good together. Other people don't realize that there's more work to do in it.
Far more.
And me always tell people, you know, relationships are easy. But when you're in the relationship, no, it take a lot of work because you have to carry your weight.
Yep.
And I tell people like, yo, listen, even if you don't love the person, and if you don't like the person or whatever, carry your weight. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to be found wanting.
Yeah.
Yeah, if the relationship work out or not work out, at the end of the day, when the roll is called up yonder, you see me? You don't want to hear say, yo, Akim never do everything what I'm supposed to do, you know. Yeah, and that's the thing with marriage too. And that's, I remember the conversation we did have Lamar when things did go sour. And you say exhaust all possibilities. And I'm gonna say, well, me try. You see me? And then it start get worse and worse and worse, and you couldn't try no more. Don't people not realize say it take a whole leap out of you to actually try and do certain things. So and then you hear some pastors, you hear some people preach. It take a lot to get up every day and say you love the person. You will not have the same love for the person every morning you get up. So man, you wake up and say, oh Lord, she there. she never gonna work. you know. No, but a serious thing. Like someone annoy you last night, and even though you bring it to the fore, you wake up and you say, "Oh, I wish you that out of the bed already. Come on, spread out a little bit more." As simple as them things that run through people's mind, you know. I like, I think she'd get up early and cook breakfast, but she's still in her bed with me, sometimes. But these are the things. You have to be willing to do that work. Yeah, and then even as I said before earlier in the last segment, you say if you are not willing to, that's what you said? If you're not willing to put in the work.
Oh yeah, before you get into the
that's what you said, yeah. If you're not willing to do what you're supposed to do before marriage, then how you say you're ready for marriage?
That's it.
You want to be a wife, you want to be a husband, but you're not practicing to be one.
Yeah, because the truth is that we don't prepare for exams on the day of the exam.
Some people do.
Right. In the morning before, how much I get you? Maybe like a complete
5%.
preparation. Right? So you have to go to the classes. You have to look revise your notes, and then you have to do a little study session. Then you go to the exam, right?
You do a mock exam too.
Right, a mock exam, they do the exam. So you can't just get up and say, boy, I'm ready for this now, and just go do the exam. Exactly. Unless you're one of them high-class genius who know everything about everything in the world, then that's different, right?
So how know she's a wife?
See all them questions, See, so these are the things.
That's the thing I say. How you gonna know she's a wife? She not do wifely stuff.
Right. So that's it. Yeah. Right. So if you're not practicing these things, then you don't know. You won't know. Right. So
what the Bible say, he that findeth a wife, findeth a good thing. Does it say either findeth a good wife, findeth a good thing? It say he that findeth a wife, findeth a good thing. But you notice that the good come after you find the wife.
But not just that alone. The Bible never tells us to find a wife in training, Or it never say
it said find it a wife.
And it never say boy find a woman, it say find a wife. So it means that it simply means that the moment when you find her, she is already a wife. Right? And I think that is what a lot of people have mixed up, right? And I mean the Bible clear and it say just like if you go up on the road and say, boy, if I find a car at the car lot, then I go buy it.
Without test nothing.
Right. So you now go there and see one wheel over there. So you see the engine over there. So you see the body over the body of the car over there. So no, it's when you find it as is.
Yes.
So when you find her, so that she's a wife.
And don't feel this means a wife alone,
Husband too.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Because a lot of women, I have thought about a lot of women say, me will change him. I will fix him.
That's a big mistake right there. Coming from a man, listen. And I'll go closer to the mic. That's the dumbest thing you'll ever say to yourself. Boy, you're going to fix him.
That one the rough still. I say it's a harsh man. But that's the truth though. You can't look at somebody and say, I'll fix him or I'll make him better or I'll fix her or make her better. No, just take it as what you see is what you get.
Yep. Take it as what you see.
Yeah, man.
And, as we draw closer to the end of this episode, we want you guys to remember, we're not saying that you should just go and date anybody willy-nilly. If you listen to us carefully, we outline various things that we look for when we're dating people. You have to make sure you look for substance. The takeaways from this episode. Substance. You have to look for the chaos that you're trying to avoid, or the peace you're trying to get. If that person doesn't bring any enhancement to your life, it's not the person you're supposed to be with. We never talk about sexual attraction or nothing, because, we're not supposed to be having sex before marriage.
We never talk about that because the truth of the matter is all that does is complicate everything else.
Yeah.
You find the wrong person, you have sex and you feel so attached to your person, all we know is you must leave this person because this person go and beat you. And you say, no man, you can't change him or fix him because you don't have sex with the person and get attached to the person.
Yeah, man.
And you end up in a situation where you have pure headache, misery, black and blue eye, broke
good
everywhere.
Sex.
Yeah, and all of them something.
You may say it again, but good sex. Yeah. I somebody was talking to me this morning, she said she know people where, have a friend where everything is good. That's what the person is saying. but you know them stay with the person because you know the sex turn up and thing, but the man a beat the crap out of them. That to me is silly. You should have seen that from before. And people are blind. Love is blind, you know. If nobody tell you that, love is blind.
This is true.
Love is blind, but God's love is true and insightful. Yeah, and we like to leave you as we end this episode. You know, whosoever findeth a wife, findeth a good thing. And I'll switch it up. Whosoever findeth a husband, findeth also a good thing, and obtaineth favor in the Lord. We want to thank you for listening to us today. We want to thank you for, you know, spending the time out to hear our thoughts. And if you have any thoughts, don't be afraid to leave a comment. You know, put it in it. Continue the conversation in the comment section. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Spotify. And remember, we're also on Google Podcasts. And as we continue in these episodes, don't be afraid to send us your suggestions. Send us topic suggestions as well to our email address at nwmenslifeline@gmail.com. This is another episode on Natural Word Men's Lifeline. This is Natural Word.